War never ends. Whether it's a war in which masses of people die, like World War II, or a war in which masses of brain cells die, like Console War, every attempt at civilized world gets nuked down via inventions of new ways to stick it back to others. However, not all weapons throughout history were as deadly as our beloved atomic bombs or spy cats. Wait, what? It's actually true. CIA believed they could use cats as spies via microphones and transmitters surgically implanted into the cat's body. Yep, that actually used to be a thing. CIA. Welcome guys, this is Madhu Reviews, and today I'll be looking at top 10 bizarre weapons used throughout the history of mankind, and more importantly, bizarre weapons that kind of actually worked. Not like scythes or cats. Number 10. Fire lance. If you thought that bullet shooting lances are just anime and game things, you would be very wrong, my friend. Wait, you're not my friend? I don't have any friends, so you are my enemy. Have a bullet from my fire lance, will you? No, in fact, fire lances didn't technically shoot bullets. First appearing in the 10th century's China during the Jin Song Wars, fire lance was a gunpowdered weapon and is widely considered as a proto-gun or ancestor to hand cannons and even all firearms in extension. Unlike their anime and game counterparts though, which could riddle the battlefield with raining bullets, fire lances were a short-range weapons used to gain advantage in melee combat. It was usually built out of a tube, mostly bamboo, and contained gunpowder and slow match and was strapped to a spear or similar polearm weapons. Once the match was lit, gunpowder would eject through the tube into a stream of flames in the direction of the spearhead. Later, as if fire shooting lance wasn't bad enough, various other modifications were added, such as iron pellets or pottery shards, you know, just for the firework effect. So, the next time you're playing that sweet gun lancer or whatever, remember that they actually used to be a thing. Kind of. Number 9. Kapinga. Kapinga were ancient boomerangs. There, done, moving on, fuck this shit. Kapinga, also known as Hungamonga, well, I sure hope it's as deadly as it sounds, were bladed throwing knives used by the Azandi of Nubia. They were distributed only to the first-class warriors and were considered a symbol of status and usually had 3 different shaped blades for maximum damage. So, yeah, ancient boomerang folk. Who said boomerangs weren't dangerous? Number 8. The Tsar Tank. The living proof that ancient folk didn't have the weirdest minds when it came to weapon designs. The Tsar Tank, also known as Neto something, is the weirdest fucking thing I've seen in my life. It looks more like a circus vehicle for stunts rather than, well, a fucking tank. Built in 1914 and lasting only a year, the weapon was purely experimental in nature, duh, and never truly saw the light of the day, duh. Apparently, the huge wheels were used to cross difficult terrain, but I'd rather think that they would have been astonishing distraction for enemies, as no one would have been able to stop themselves from laughing, whereupon Russians would simply kill the fools. You laughed at my wheels, now I laugh at your grave. I don't know, Number 7. Man Catcher. I swear when I first heard this name, I thought it was some sort of a cup-shaped weapon containing beer with pictures of naked women on the surface, hence the name, you know, Man Catcher. However, the reality is a bit different and disappointing. This very, very strangely shaped object was actually one of the few medieval weapons meant for non-lethal usage. Not that it can actually, you know, be used any other way, but whatever. This weapon had twofold usage: to capture violent and insane prisoners and to play a game of capturing a noble for ransom. The capture would have to use proper armor, as this weapon somehow had a chance of hurting the neck. Probably because of all the spikes and shit. Number 6. Qatar. While bizarre, I actually won this one, like badly. Katars were basically knuckle weapons turned extra deadly with short blades extruding out of the small guard. Well, at first glance it looked like there was only one blade. With just push of a button, 2 more would appear and you would suddenly be as 3 times as dead. Unique to South Asia, it was also used as a ceremonial weapon and it originated in Tamil Nadu, India. Seriously though, I won one. Badly. Number 5. Zua. I don't know what the fuck this is, but keep it away from me, please. Zua is a literal pole arm weapon. Get it? Get it? It's a stick with an iron hand at the top of it, and it was supposedly used to literally take the shields away from the enemies. I don't know how that would work, it wouldn't, but it sure looks as terrifying as anything Dark Souls creepy minions would wield. Or you, because, you know, everything is technically a weapon. Number 4. Kokoda. Japan, the home of the pixelated porn, tentacle porn, samurai/samurai porn, and of course, Kokoda. What a strange fucking mix. Kokoda were spiked rings used in ancient Japan. People will usually wear one of two rings, mostly on index and thumb fingers, and upon impact they would cause rather serious puncture wounds, and especially in the neck area. However, the general purpose of the weapon was to subdue rather than to harm the assailed, so the rings were turned inwardly rather than a knuckle-like fashion. Fun fact, they were also used by female ninjas, or actually favored by them, and they'd often coat the rings in poison and bang, just as you were climaxing with a beautiful pixelated vagina riding you, you dead man, you so dead. Don't screw with the ninjas. Number 3. Madhu. What would you do if you were forbidden from carrying any form of a weapon? I know that Americans would probably lose their shit, but as for the rest of the world, we'd probably be relatively chill. However, it wasn't like that back in the olden days. Fakirs, ancient Muslim and Hindu ascetics, were forbidden from carrying any form of a weapon, so decided to get a bit creative, hence Madhu happens. Madhu? Sleek ancient folk. Sleek. The weapon was made from two Indian antelope horns connected perpendicularly by a crossbar. The weapon was excellent for stabbing, although primarily considered a defensive one. The art of Madhu is practiced until this very day, actually, and is a part of much larger art of Silabam, ancient weapon-based Indian martial art. Number 2. Bachnach. What's with all these ancient weapons and their incredibly weird and hard to pronounce names? Hey, whatever. Bachnach is a claw weapon, apparently. People who used it were basically considered ancient wolverines, as strapped around the knuckles, the weapon would have 4 to 5 curved blades sticking out. Developed in India, shockers, it was designed to primarily slash through skin and muscle and had very little usage outside of that. Number 1. Urumi. Brace yourself, folk. It's a whip. Okay, not really, but the closest thing we've got to those whips from Dynasty Warrior games. I'll take it. Made in India. Seriously, Indians were fucking amazing when it came to weapons. It is considered one of the most difficult weapons to master in existence due to sheer possibility of harming yourself. It is treated as a steel whip and requires previous knowledge and mastery of whip and sword martial arts. Due to all of this, the art of Urumi is always taught last in the Indian martial arts. There you go, folks, top 10 bizarre weapons used throughout the history of mankind. I excluded majority of the new gen gunpowdered weapons because, well, they aren't as fun, or as old, or as bizarre. Did I miss anything? Make sure to remind me in an angry rant down below. Until next time.